in this video, I'm going to show you how to upgrade your PS5 so that you can add some more storage with an M.2 NVMe SSD internally in your PlayStation 5 console. This will work on both the digital or the disc edition. Make sure your PlayStation 5 console is fully updated and completely shut down, not in rest mode. Unplug everything and take off the stand. Let's take off the right side panel, which does not have the PlayStation logo at the top. In this case, it's the disc slot side. Make sure you do this carefully, not like how I did it in my fan noise fix video. It's pretty easy. Here's the cover for the SSD slot. Let's use a P1 Phillips drive screwdriver or bit to remove the screw and take off the cover. Notice the fan service on top of the screw with the PlayStation button symbols engraved into it. Nice touch, Sony. There is a screw and electrical standoff at the 110 slot at the top here, which we have to remove and keep safe so we can install with our drive here in a minute. Here you see some holes for mounting the solid state drives depending on the length of drive. The one you see here is 80mm long because it's known as a 2280 M.2 NVMe SSD, so it will be screwed down right here where it says 80. There are a few different M.2 NVMe solid state drives compatible with the PlayStation 5 currently. I'll have some of them linked in the description below, as well as the heatsink and tools you'll need to do this easy job. This X-Men feels attacked. Some of these NVMe drives come with a heatsink built on already, and some come without. It is recommended to use one with a heatsink, so I got one that does not come with one and purchased a heatsink enclosure separately to show you how to put it together now. The heatsink enclosure comes with some thermal pads which allows optimal heat transfer from the electronics through to the heatsink fins to escape through the passing by air, cooling it down. We put one on the bottom of the drive to attach to the bottom of the heatsink case, and one on top of the SSD to connect to the top of the heatsink. I'm going to notice that there's a cutout here, which matches the cutout on the SSD NVMe. We then use a P0 size Phillips screwdriver bit to install the tiny screws that come with the heatsink enclosure to screw the enclosure case together. When mating two surfaces together like the heatsink enclosure top and bottom pieces, you should install each screw in a cross pattern to help distribute the torque evenly across the drive so you don't bend anything and it all goes together smoothly. And now the SSD is ready to be installed. Next, we take the solid state drive and heatsink together into the drive bay, and we will plug the interface connector into the slot in the PS5. This is very easy and impossible to install incorrectly, as the M.2 NVMe SSDs have a slot in the connector and a cutout on the other end to make sure it's completely foolproof to install. Make sure you hear the click to know that you installed it correctly. Now we will take the screw and standoff that we removed before and get ready to install the new SSD. Make sure that you place the standoff under your drive, as this is used to keep the drive straight and in line so it doesn't bend and so it's installed properly. Take the long screw and put it through the half round cutout at the end, holding down the solid state drive and going through the standoff and screwing it into the PS5. Be careful with installing these screws into the case if you're inexperienced. You don't want to put the screw in at an angle or not have it pushed down fully before starting to put force and torque to turn the screw. That can wreck the threads and not allow the screw to tighten at all. Once this is all tight and not moving at all, we put the SSD slot cover on and the screw back in. Make sure that you do put the cover back on the SSD slot, as that will keep the airflow and pressure the way it was designed to be by Sony for the proper airflow and cooling. Put the side panel back on and plug everything back in. Once you turn the PlayStation 5 on, the console will ask you if you want to format the new M.2 NVMe SSD that you just installed. Choose to format it, and after that you'll be ready. Ready to move games over from your main console storage to the new SSD or download new games directly to it. Now you are all finished and ready to tap on the screen where it says subscribe to join the Moshi Yo family of pals and hit the bell notification icon so you know when I post new videos on the channel. If you learned anything or liked the video, please tap the thumbs up button and let me know with a comment below what game you're going to play first with your new SSD. The first one I'm going to play is probably going to be one of the many games in my backlog that I haven't finished yet, like Ghost of Tsushima or Final Fantasy VII Remake, with their PS5 versions being recently released. Thanks for watching and be good.
Stop.